Microsoft provided a new way of creating web APIs, and that is called minimal APIs. Why it is called minimal? Because it have a minimal level of functionality for creating the web APIs. And if you are aware with the previous version of web APIs, then we create the web APIs with the help of controllers. We define our controllers, then inside that controller we define some methods and we define some routes. That's when we generate an endpoint and we can use those web APIs with the help of those endpoints. So that was the previous way of creating web APIs with the help of controllers. But in this version or in this architecture, they have removed the functionality of controllers. Now you can create the web APIs without any controller. You will typically call them or create them inside the program.cs file. So when this minimal API is introduced by Microsoft, a lot of people are loving it and lots of are hating it. They are saying that, hey, those controller kind of APIs was great, and some are saying that, hey, this one are looking better. And I personally like the minimal APIs because it have a similar structure like other languages. Like if you have worked with Node.js and Express, you will find a lot of similar kind of code the Microsoft is using now. And nowadays Microsoft is using a lot of functionality like the standards and industry standard functionalities. And way back the years, Microsoft was very rigid and they like to do the things in their way. But now Microsoft has changed very much and they are trying to use the open standards so that everyone will be comfortable with it. So I personally like the minimal APIs ways, and I am eager to see that how is the future of the minimal APIs. So let me know in the comment that you are liking the minimal APIs or you are liking the older ones. So hey there everyone, it's Ravindra Devrani. Let's get started without any delay. So at first, let's open your Visual Studio and click here in create a new project. Now we have to select a web API project. So search here in the search bar web API and select this project ASP.NET Core Web API, and it is the standard one of ASP.NET Core Web API. So till now, so let's enter a name here. So I'm gonna enter the minimal APIs demo, and I'm also going to change the location of the project. Okay, till now we are fine, but let's change the solution name and the name of the project. So it is our project name, it is our UI project, and I'm going to change the name of solution because we are going to add multiple projects in this solution. That's why I'm changing this name. So the first project will be our default project and it will be the API project and it will interact with client. We will create a separate class library for interacting with database so that we can separate our things. We can separate our database things and client side applications. So just click here in next. Okay, now we have here the multiple options. You have to select the framework, and I'm getting multiple because I have the multiple frameworks here, but we need to select this latest one, 7.0. Okay, that's fine. So let's check this one, configure for HTTPS, and always try to check this one. and do not select any authentication type here, and enable open API support. So if you want to add by default Swagger functionality in your project, you can check this option, and I am definitely going to check this option. And use controller, uncheck to use minimal API. So here is the change when you create web APIs. If you check this list or this item, then you are going to create web APIs with controller. That is the default way that is coming from so long. But if you want to use the minimal API approach, then you have to unselect this option. So keep this thing in mind. Please do not select this option, leave it unselected. Okay, and do not mess with this thing. Okay, let's create a project. Okay, so our project has created right now. So let's run this project first and let's see how it is looking. So here it is our default page, and it integrates our APIs here in this page. So it is the documentation provided by Swagger. If we click here, we can see this method which is called /weather forecast. If we want to test this thing, we can test this like click here and try it out and execute. Now it will give us a response, and here is the status code 200 response body, and here is our response body. So if you do not want to use this Swagger, then we can use the traditional approach where we use this Postman, and you can test these APIs with Postman. That is pretty much fine. There is no problem. Okay, and you can use the other things also if you have installed them in your computer rather than this Postman. But Postman is a very traditional way of testing APIs, and it is pretty much popular, so you can use it also. So let's stop this project for right now, and let's see how the structure of our project is. And it is a typical .NET Core or .NET 7, whatever you say, kind of structure, and you will find every project related to .NET Core. So we have this program.cs file, we have this app setting.json file. Here basically we define our connection strings or anything that you want to use as secretly, we can store it here. So it is our app settings.json file, and if we click here, you will find another thing, this app setting.json file, and you can also add some functionality here, and this functionality will override the app setting.json's functionality. So keep that thing in your mind. So let's move here the program.cs file, and here it is where our program starts. So we have this section builder.services. Here we define our services, whatever services we are going to use in our project, we define here. And this section here, from here the app and app builder.build, below this section we define our middleware, we configure our middleware below there. So, and we are writing the APIs here. We don't have any controllers in the minimal APIs. What we do, we write our APIs here. So it is the weather forecast APIs that we have seen earlier in our project. So it is the app.mapget method, and here we have the endpoint of this API, and here it is a delegate that we are passing to this API, and here we are writing some code. Basically we are fetching the data from here. We have defined some data here. We and here also the summaries, we are fetching the data from there. So it is the boiler code provided by the Microsoft for you to test those APIs and how they work. Okay, so that's pretty much how it works. So we will write our APIs here, but I will show you another way where you can put those APIs and call all of them here. Because if we write here the APIs, suppose right now we have this one API, no problem. We have two, no problem. We have 5 or 10 APIs, that will look okay. But what if you have the 100 of your endpoints, 100 of APIs? Then this program.cs file will look too much messy. So what we will do, we will create a separate file for these things, and we will put all of these APIs there and call them back here with the help of that extension method that we will create separately in the separate file. And that's the way I have discovered in the one of the YouTuber, that is Tim Corey, and hats off to that guy. That is an amazing guy. If you don't know him, you can check out his channel, that is I am Tim Corey, I guess. And he in the area of C#, he is second to none. He has a vast knowledge about C#, so you can check him out. Now that is our program.cs file, and now we have seen how to create our APIs. We haven't created any APIs yet, but we will create soon. Okay, before that, what I am going to do, we will create a new project here, and let's right click on the solution, click here, add new project. Okay, so let's search here, class library. Okay, you will find a lot of things here, Razor class library, VB class libraries, something like that, but we have to select this class library, a project for creating a class library that targets .NET or .NET standard. So we have to select this template and click on next. Fine, let's name this thing is data access. Okay, so it is going to be our data access layer. We have to select this same framework we have selected before, that was .NET 7.0. Let's create this project. Okay, so we have this default class that we do not need in this project, so we are going to delete it. Okay, so now it is our data access layer. Here we will configure all of database related activities. So let's create some folder here. Let's add a folder, let's name it data. Okay, let's add another folder here and name it to models. Okay, that is fine. Let's add another folder here and name it repositories. Okay, so I guess we are done. Now what we have to do, we have to create a DB context class. Let's create it and name it database context or person context. Let's name it person context.cs. Okay, public class. So if you declared here internal, then you cannot access it from this project. Okay, so keep that thing in mind. So define always public. Internal scopes are only limited to the project. You cannot access those things outside this project, and we have to access these things outside the project. Okay, so before that, let's create a model that we are going to save in database. Let's name this model and let's name it person. Okay, that's good. Public class person. Let's add some property. So type prop, and when you click in double tap, it will generate a property for you. So it will be id, string, first name, last name, and last name, and email. Okay, let's put some validation here. It is required. Fine. It is also required. It is also required. Okay, that's good. Okay, and when I click here control dot, I haven't forgot to tell you, let's remove this thing before, and you won't see here its color has changed because we haven't used its namespace. For that we have to press control dot and it will add it here, and currently I don't know why it is not working. Sometimes it also does not work, so keep that thing in mind. We have to use this namespace here, system dot component model dot data annotation. One more thing, we have this thing here in our .NET 6 and .NET 7, that we have a thing called global usings, global using .cs, and I'm going to show you what that means. So if we remove this thing from here and paste it here, type here the global, then we can globally use the files inside this namespace. So this namespace will be accessed globally in this project. Okay, so if you have some namespaces that you are going to use multiple times, what you have to do before that, before global usings, we have to define them in everywhere whenever we are going to use them. So if you are using this namespace in this person file, you have to write here the using statement. But if you have another file like category and you also need that validation in that file, then there you also have to use this global, this system dot component model dot data annotation namespace, and you have to do it multiple times whenever you are going to use these validation attributes in your project or your file. So what we will do, we will put them inside this global using file. Now you are free to use these required properties and anything that will resides under that data annotation namespace. Okay, so that is called global using. Now we have created our person, so we can create here our db set, PROPP db set, and let's name it. Before that, press control dot, and it is asking us install the package entity framework core. So what we have to do right now, we have to install some packages. So let's go here inside the tools, go there, NuGet package manager, manage NuGet package for solution. We don't have to do this, we only want to add those packages for only this project. So right click in the data access project, and here we will find something like manage NuGet packages. Okay, now what we will do here, we will click on this browse and we will search a package called Microsoft dot entity framework core dot not SQL server, we are going to use sqlite. Okay, so we need this package to be installed. So I don't know why it is not showing here. I guess I have some spelling mistakes. There is only single L. Let's see. Okay, so I guess I have a spelling mistake here. So let's remove this L. It's a single L, SQLite, SQLite. And we have this package here, Microsoft.entity framework core.sqlite. Let's install this one. Okay, let's accept the license. That's fine, and we are done. Okay, let's install another package, which is entity framework core.tools, and it is used for running the migration commands. So let's select this one and install here. I accept. Very fine. Now we have installed the required packages. Okay, let's wait for a bit. Okay, now we are done here. Okay, let's close this thing, and we have installed these packages. So public class person context. Now let's create a db set here. So prop double tab db set, and let's add that person class that we have created. So let's create this control dot. Okay, so why we are not able to access this thing? Person data access dot models person. If I press here control dot, then it should access that thing. I don't know why it is not working, so let's type it manually using name of the project. And what is the name of the project? Data access dot models. Okay, I guess we are fine now. Okay, so let's cut this thing and move it here in the global using. It might be needed multiple times, so let's copy it, paste it here. Okay, we are fine now. And let's name it people. Good. Let's go inside of here, go to definition, and let's change it to table, and the name of table is person. Why I did this? Because entity framework will create the table with the name of people, but here I have strongly typed or defined that this table will be person, so you cannot change it. Otherwise entity framework will make a table with name people rather than person. Okay, so and after adding this command, we are able to add this person data into database as a table or entity. Now let's create a constructor. For that we have to write ctor, press double tap, and it will create a constructor for us. That's very fine. Now let's define here something. So first we need to write here where folder equals to environment dot spatial folder dot local application data. In this location we are going to add our database. So let's write here the path equals to environment dot get folder path and pass that folder variable inside this. Okay, now we will have our db path. For that we need a getter property. So db public string db path equals to get, and you can find all of this connectivity code inside the Microsoft Docs. Just search it with, let's say, entity framework with SQLite, and you will find the link of Microsoft Docs in the Google results. So you can find all of this code also there, all of this database connectivity related code there in their website, and they have defined all of things very clearly and very well manner. You can find it there. Where path? Okay, so let's move here. Let's not deviate from the path. db path equals to system dot io dot, and now we are going to join these paths, path comma, and here we will create a name of database. So it will be person, let's say person minimal demo dot db system dot io dot, here something is missing, path dot join. Now we are fine. Okay, so now we have defined the path of database where we are going to generate our database. Okay, so let's write here protected, and we are going to override a method. So protected override on configuring, and we are going to override this method, and it should be a void type on configuring. Okay, it will take a db context option builder options, and here we will write options comma d, let's say what are the options we have, options dot use use sqlite. So right here data source, or just data source, it doesn't matter, data source equals to db path. Okay, so now we have done all the database related connectivity. Now let's save these changes to the database. For that we need to open tools, here NuGet package manager console, and inside this we run our migration command. So add migration, and it is our initial command, so let's name it init. Okay, init is just a name. You can change this name according to your need. If you want to write here initial migration file, that is fine, but our project has failed to build, then this command will not work. So let's find that problem. So what it is saying, that person on configuring, no suitable method found to override. Okay, so let me see. Okay, first of all I need to inherit this with db context that I have forgot. Now let's see. Yeah, now I think it will be fine. So let's build this solution. Okay, build 1 succeeded, 0 failed. So let's run this command again. Let's see. Hopefully we will not find any error, and we are finding. So first of all, what we need to do is that we have to reference that project. So right click here and here add project reference data access. Now we can add all of the functionality of data access inside this demo UI project, and it is nothing related to this error, but we have to do it in future, so why not now? So let's add a NuGet package command here inside this package, and that will be the same. It will be Microsoft.entity framework core.tools. Okay, so let's add this one, and this package is used to create the migration command, and we have already installed this package inside the data access project, but I guess we need to install it here also in the UI project, and I don't know why it is happening, but it is what it is. So let's install this package and let's see we can remove this error or not. Okay, so I hope we will be fine after that. I'm hoping, and it is installed. Okay, so now let's open the package manager console from NuGet package manager console, and here let's run this command again. Let's type here cls clear screen, add migration init. I hope it will work fine this time, and it will generate a migration file for us, hopefully. Yeah, it is done. So it has created this migration file inside this data access project, and here inside this migration folder it has created this file. Okay, so here if we look into this migration file, it will say that on up it means we are updating the database. When we are trying to update the database, it will create a table for us with name person and with these fields and with these constraints. That's it. And this one is for rollback. When we hit a rollback command with the migration, it will remove this table. That's it. Let's close that file, and right here update database, and those changes will be reflected to database now. So again update database. Okay, I guess it should be fine right now. I hope we will not get any error this time, otherwise it is getting frustrating. Yeah, fine, very good. Now the database related part has done. Now what we have to do here, actually we are going to create a repository for us, and let's create an interface first. So interface, that's fine, and it will be a person repository. Good. Let's change it to public because we have to access this repository, interface outside this project. We will have a bool method call update. Good. It will take a person as a model. We will have another method which will call add. So first one will be add, then update, Here's a bool add, and all of these things are going to be asynchronous. So let's add here task bool. Good. This one also be task update. This one should be person get by id, get by id, int id. This one should be delete. So let's press here semicolon, then press Ctrl D. It will copy this line in the next line, and it will be delete, and it will return a boolean. Good. Now we will have another method here, person I enumerable type. So I enumerable person, it will return us a list. So these 5 methods we are going to create. For that we are going to create a class here. So let's add a class, and let's add it here, person repository, person repository dot cs. Okay, so first of all let's change it to public. Okay, let's change it to person. Let's implement an interface here, I person repository. Okay, now it will say that hey, you have to generate all the methods inside of that interface into this class. So it is basically saying it, person repository does not implement interface member, add, update, get by id, delete, get all of these methods need to be implemented here. So here, so potential fixes, and how it is coming, just hover your mouse here, you will see all of this thing, and when you are hovering your mouse, then you will see this thing here. But we have another option here, put your mouse arrow here, click here and press Ctrl dot. When you press Ctrl dot, you will find these options. We will select this one, implement interface, or it will implement all the method for us. Okay, it will declare the body of them, we need to implement them. So we will define this method, but before that what we need to do, we have to define a field here, private database context good, let's name it db, and it should be read only database context. And why we, okay, it was a person context, good. And let's inject this one. So create this constructor, person db equals to db, whatever it is. What it is basically doing, we are injecting our person context as a service so that we can use the functionality of it. Right now let's put a try catch block here, and inside a try block we will write db dot add person db dot save changes, return true. Otherwise, in the case of catch exception ex, we are not gonna log anything here, but you can log this error here. Okay, we will just return a false from here. Alright, so the add functionality has completed. Now what should we do next? We will write this thing inside the update method. Good, let's paste it here. Very good. just change this db add to update. Very nice. Everything will be same. That's it, what we need to do. Okay, so let's paste all of these things inside this delete method, but we need to do something else inside this delete method. So just remove this add functionality from here. So first of all, what we are going to do, we have to find that person. So person equals to db dot person or db dot find, something like that. And but we can use this method. So we can use this method, and we are hoping that it is giving us an id. So what we are going to do, just get by id, and we are hoping that it is giving us an id, and should be await. Okay, it is giving me error. That's fine. It is not a async method right now, so we don't need to write an await. So if person equals to null, if person equals to null, okay, then return false. That's it. Otherwise, db dot people dot remove person, then save changes, then return true. Okay, so let's implement this get by id method. So where person equals to db dot people dot find id and return this person. Okay, so let's implement this one also here. So let's write here return db dot people dot to list. And I forgot one thing, we need to change in every method. We need to define these method as an async. So after public, write async, and let's copy this thing and paste it everywhere. So let's paste it here. Okay, paste it here and paste it below also here. Okay, now here also update, and I guess we have, I don't know, we should have one more. Yeah, this one. Okay, now all of these are async method. We need to change all of them a little bit. So this one should be db dot save changes async, and here we should write await. Okay, we'll do same here inside this method, save changes async. Okay, db save changes async, async right here await, and this method should be awaitable because we are going to define this method as async method. Okay, so let's write here to list async await. It should be await find async. To list async, let's see what it is saying. Okay, now this one, save changes async and await. Now I guess we are absolutely fine. So let's build this project. Let's see, do we have any error? I hope we will not have any error. Okay, we have. So let's run this project and we will find some error. Right now we are getting this error because we haven't configured our one service, and that is the person context. So builder dot service dot add transient. Okay, so why it is not working perfectly? Services builder dot services dot add transient. Okay, and it should be this one, person context. Okay, when I enter this, it has added this line, data access dot data, where this person context reside. So let's put a semicolon here. Okay, so let's try to run this thing. Okay, so it is our home page with Swagger documentation. So we have created this API slash person. Let's try to execute it. Click here in the try it out, then click here in this execute button, and you will see 200 list of person. Okay, that's what we have returned from here. Where it is, but we are not going to define our APIs here because we do not want to create a mess of APIs inside this document. So what we are going to do here, let's create a folder here. Let's name it extensions. Okay, let's create a class inside it. Let's name it map APIs. Okay, so let's add, very good. It will be a static class because we will create an extension inside of this class. We will create an extension method. So extension method will be public static. Let's name it map API, not S, just API, and you can use the name according to your choice. Right now I want to use this name, map API. Okay, public static map API. It will be a void, so it will contain this, what is it, the app, and its type web application. Okay, so it will take web application app comma, and what else it will need, I don't know. That's it. So what we are going to do, we are going to cut this guy from here and paste it here, and we will call that extension method here map API. Good. Now let's try to run this and let's see everything is working fine or not. I hope it will work fine. And with this functionality, our program.cs file will look much more cleaner. So our project has run. Let's see. Let's test that functionality. Is it working fine or not? Absolutely working fine. List of persons. Okay, so now we are set up good. So now we will close this program.cs file. We do not need it now. We will work here, and okay, so first of all, let's try to fetch the list of person. So for that, what we need, person repository. Okay, then let's name it person repo. Okay, and here we will get where people equals to, let's name it person repo dot get all, and it should be a waitable method. Await, that's good, and we will pass that people inside this. Okay, and let's try to add, oh, that's it, we are not doing any try catch here. Okay, so open this drop down list and let's try it out. Let's execute it. Okay, so let's see what we are getting in result. We are not getting anything because we haven't have any data there. Okay, that's okay, we will add some data. So now we have created this get method. Now we will create a post method. So let's type here app.map post. That's fine. Let's create here API slash, and let's convert it to small p, API slash person. Okay, comma async I person repository repo, let's copy this name, person repository, and let's remove this arrow from here, we do not need it. Okay, person, okay, we needed it, and let's put that arrow here. So where where result equals to await and person repository, person repo dot add, and it will be, we will need a data, so we are expecting a person type of data and a person type of model. So person and person. Okay, so why are data access dot, what else? Okay, we are fine. Sometimes its IntelliSense doesn't work. When I press here control dot, it didn't work. Person. Okay, now it will give us a result in true or false. So if result is true, then return results dot okay, created or saved successfully. Otherwise, let's return anything from here, like let's return an error message, result dot return results dot error. Let's result dot problem. That's it. Now we will do the same for the post method. It will be, but it will be a put, sorry, we will have the same functionality for the update method, but it will be map put. That's it. It will be same, but rather than this it will be an update, and here we will change it to updated successfully. and we are not passing any id here because it will be unnecessary lengthy when you pass here id. Let's just suppose you are passing here id, and what you will do, you will find a person with that id, then you will pass that person here. But we are not doing in our case. We will pass that id inside this object and pass that whole object here in the update method. That's it. It will decrease the number of lines in this code. So last one will be map. No, it is not a last one. We have a couple of more. This one will be get by id. Get map get person slash id, and we are expecting an id from this. So it will be like where person equals to person repo dot get by id. Okay, and here int id. Okay, so if person is null person, then we will return result dot not found. Sorry, not found. Okay, otherwise what we are going to return from here is just the person. So return the person inside from it. Okay, and let's put it inside the result dot okay. Otherwise it is yelling at me. Okay, we are good now. Now we need another method here, and that will be a delete method. So let's copy this guy and change it to map delete. It will be API slash person. Okay, delete, and let's see, it is expecting an id. Okay, and we are expecting an id here also. It will be a delete id. Okay, and result. Okay, deleted successfully, otherwise we have some problem. Okay, so map get and delete. Okay, now I guess we have done. Now we have to do a little bit of testing of these APIs. So now we have these multiple methods, and let's try to add a person. So we will post it here. Okay, try it out, and let's fill this body. ID will be 0, first name will be Zon, email will be zon@gmail.com. Execute it. Okay, so we have been saved successfully. Let's add some more record here. Let's name it zane@gmail.com. And yeah, fine. So let's add another Mike, And let's see my XYZ. I don't know, this lot of surnames. Now we have added 3 records. Let's execute this method. Execute. Let's see what we are getting here. We are getting this array and John, Jane, Mike. Okay, so let's try to update this record. So I have copied this, and okay, it is a third one. First of all, we will test this method get by id. Let's try this out and pass here id 3, execute, and we have this record id equals to 3, first name, last name, email. Let's copy this guy and let's cancel this thing out. Okay, now we will test this put method, and here let's try this out. Paste our data here. Let's type Mike right here, Tyson, mike1@gmail.com, mike1 Tyson. Oh, I have reset the record. Okay, let's do it again. Mike Tyson 1, Mike 1. Okay, so let's click here on the execute. Okay, so we can also check it here. So let's type here API/person. We will also get a JSON data here. So look at this, the third one, the first name Mike 1, last one Tyson 1. And now we will test the delete method, but I guess it does not need any ID. I don't know. No, I guess we are fine. So let's test the third one. Oh, sorry, the last one. So try it out and let's pass the 3 here and execute it. Let's see what we are getting. Deleted successfully. 200 is status code. That is absolutely fine. So if I refresh it now, we have only 2 records. Now what if I try to execute this method again? So what we are getting here, 500 error, response status is 500. Okay, so it is our, but if I try to access the third record here, which is not present in the database right now, let's try to access this guy and it should return a not found 404. Yeah, it has done 404 not found because we have handled that exception here. If person is null, then results dot not found. So these are the minimal APIs in .NET. So let me know in the comment, how do you like the minimal APIs? Do you like this one or do you like the previous controller based APIs? So that's it for today. We will catch you later.